hearts. Every dawn a brand new start. Journey on an endless quest, seeking knowledge never rest. Paradise we call our own, new world out there we have grown. Treasures found in every wave, lessons learned the brave behave. Friendships new and bonds so tight, guiding through the starry night. Treasures found in every wave, lessons learned the brave behave. Friendships new and bonds so tight, guiding through the starry night. Journey on an endless quest, seeking knowledge never rest. Paradise we call our own, new road out there we have grown. On and on we sail so free, through the storms and howling breeze. Hearts of courage, spirits high, together we can touch the sky. Quest for knowledge day and night. Oceans wide and stars up high, chasing dreams that touch the sky. Island filled with mysteries, stories of the ancient seas. Maps we draw in our hearts, every dawn a brand new start. Islands filled with mysteries.
We are back and running a little bit late for today. Hopefully, you're patient and you stay along for the rest of the story time. As a quick refresher, the players have just made it to a... Specifically for your information, they have made it to the island Enkahara. This is a desert island and so far has been living up to its name. So, players, to start us off before I get your characters' perspectives, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Nice.
Damn, off rip.
Oh, of course, you're in a desert area. It's hot.
Damn, natural 20.
And we are starting off pretty good.
The hat
So
is
far-
doing its job.
None of you are
damn.
taking fire damage, or rather, heat damage. So, with that grueling, unbearable heat overwhelming your characters, what are your first thoughts about this lovely, lovely island?
Ah, finally, someplace I could explore.
Oh, it's so sweaty and hot here. Ugh. Sorry, I feel a bit pompous saying that.
You probably
At least
have
we can-
have the most clothes on, not including the captain.
At least we can find a good source of fresh water.
And how much, Edson? If I give you 5,000 berries to get stuff for the ship, would you get it? I don't care what you get. It's more so just for the ship.
God. I mean, I already used our not so crew members' rent money to start a party fund, so we've got money for food and whatnot.
Okay, I was just gonna contribute just in case just in case you don't see me for a few days when I'm
I mean,
out here.
I'm not gonna turn anything down as he takes the money from your hand.
See, look at that.
Sure as hell beats me paying for everything like it's been happening. I'm not made of money, you know.
That took out.
Anyway, before you go gallivanting off somewhere, we should at least check out the immediate surroundings.
Oh yeah, we'll go into the city. I'll make sure I have a few things of water before going off on a little side quest.
We gotta find the city first, assuming this island is inhabited, which presumably it is.
Oh, there's gonna be a city here.
Well, if anything's taught me anything, city's gonna be where the water is. So we find one of those rivers, one of those streams that we saw on our approach. Follow it for long enough, we'll probably find a source of people.
That's true. And it's either if we follow the stream to the other side of the island, because the stream is gonna lead somewhere. People either homes or a town's gonna be on the side of the river, or it's gonna go through the other side, or it converges on something.
Mostly wondering how on earth an island this dry and sandy has this much water on it. I wouldn't expect to see a river anywhere, at least not flowing in, or at least not flowing out.
That is unusual. Perhaps that could be an interesting point of study for our resident archaeologist.
A what?
How this island gets its water. All this water is gotta come from somewhere, and it don't come from the sea. Otherwise, it'd be flowing inland rather than outland.
But let's not waste daylight and start moving.
Yeah, let's go find that city. See if anyone's on this island.
I'm not too sure if traveling by daylight's the greatest idea. Then again, depends on whether y'all can deal with the cold better than the heat.
Might, if we wait a few hours while it cools down, then we could go
It's
into
only gonna
and
get
look for a
hotter
city.
here till the sun goes down.
DM, roughly what time will it be?
It is currently about 12:35 in the afternoon.
So
after
it's
midday.
basically at its hottest point right now.
It's technically gonna get hotter until sunset,
It's true.
just because there isn't anything naturally cooling anything down. The longer the sun's in the sky, the warmer it's gonna get.
So should we see if we could get to the clean water first, and then just rest at the edge of the place, so we still close to the ship, but then for if we need to make a getaway, but also near clean water.
That would be a good idea. So, what
We're gonna have
you
to
can do?
We're gonna have to
you
take
can-
a barrel or two though, so that we could fill the water up.
That indeed, and I'm not gonna be the only one doing the carrying.
No, I'm a help.
Just don't drop it if you see a lizard you want to take notes on.
I'll take mental notes.
Oh, let's get going then. No sense in sitting around.
Ashika goes and gets one of the empty barrels.
I will follow
Indeed.
and do the same.
Agreed.
I guess I can try and pick up a barrel. Not that weak. Well,
If
I will
I'm
pick up a barrel.
carrying one, anybody can.
He said, I could carry one.
Ah, yes.
Me
My
over here
11
with my
strength at play.
me over here with my 8 strength.
Oh, wow. Ollie's stronger than you. Oh, God.
Like I said, if I'm carrying one, anybody can.
Strength was
Ollie
your strength
accidentally
was your
picks
dump
up
stat. You're like, if I'm gonna be weak, I'm gonna be
barrel
weak in
water in
strength.
it.
Might as well. Seems fitting. You're gonna do it. Do it right. Plus, he's a marksman. His goal is not to get close enough to need strength.
Until he gets to the point he has to throw his weapon to him.
Then I got short swords for that. And I don't need
It's
strength
just
for
like-
those either.
Eh. As he
You
tries
gotta
to
be John
throw
Wick.
it.
Oh, yes, by the way, prestidigitation, I'm making my clothes, my shirt more comfortable.
Perfectly fine. I believe that version of presentation lasts an hour. Yes.
Yep.
Very nice. All right. So you have.
I
I'm
can do it to
assuming.
4, so I'll do that with everyone. Everyone's shirts feel cooler.
Are you all taking empty bottles or empty?
Barrels.
There we go. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
No
right.
sense in bringing a barrel full of water to go get it filled.
I mean, fair enough.
I don't
So-
know.
You, where is it that you would be heading to fill up the water?
Which one's the closest?
Yeah, probably whichever one of the 2 rivers that we saw on our way in would be closest to our landing site.
All right. So to get to this one, it is going to take you about 2 hours. To get to this one here, it's going to take you about 3 hours.
2 hours it is.
As you are hiking through this desert, how many of you have ever been to a desert island? And I might have asked this last time.
Can I roll
Probably
for
been to 1 or
history?
2.
Can I roll for history? And
You could certainly try, but this is more character development. Like, would your character have spent any time on a desert
He had-
island?
he has been on a lot. He has been on ships. He has been traveling a lot. So some of these islands either could have been like the. What I'm saying is, some of these islands could be like the same, not the same, but felt the same, but doesn't realize he's been to it before, or he's been to these islands before. He just like he put in more knowledge and just got dumped the useless stuff.
Go ahead and just roll me a d6, even yes, odd no.
Okay. So nope.
You have not been to this type of island.
I
You
bet.
might have been on desert-like islands, but nothing like this. You notice that even at your normal moving, the heat, the exhaustion, because I'm assuming you're still going at about 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
You find yourself moving at half speed.
Oh, that's
Go
not that
ahead
bad.
and give me a Constitution saving throw. The DC for this one is going to be 14.
Yeah, I knew I was rolling low. Yeah, should I use it? I'll see what everybody else rolls.
Apparently, I might have been on a desert island before. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna use one of the inspirations to reroll.
Okay, go
I would
ahead.
also like to point out fact, if it applies, part of my ex-marine background is I'm used to long marches, and I can do it just about twice as much as anybody else.
Yes, which is fine for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
failed.
pointing that out there.
Yep, you're going to take 4 points of fire damage. Oh, shit.
Okay. Ain't that bad.
As
The fact
said,
that he rolled
it's go-
2d6s for that makes me worried for when somebody fails and he rolls high.
Yeah, it was crazy because yesterday, last session, I was rolling perfectly on these fucking con saves.
At this point, you are now in the hottest part of the day. And the sun is magnifying off of the sand itself. You feel the dry down your throat, inside your nose. You feel sand in places where sand should not be.
In my damn boots.
Never gonna get the sand out of my robes.
Never say never. Only whenever.
Everyone give me a
What?
nature check.
Nature.
Damn, this is the first time.
Not good with these.
Can I argue survival?
I roll me a nature first, and I will allow for alternative checks after.
Okay.
Oh my god.
18.
And he's saying he
Okay.
wants survival.
He right? Remember,
Hey, I'd
it's
rather have a +5 than a +1.
it's the
And look what
skills
that
he's.
+1 did.
It's only the skills he's supposed to be good at that he rolls really bad at.
Yeah.
But with the 18, you begin to feel a slight change in the wind. The rest of you, go ahead and give me perception checks or survival checks. And Edson, yes, you two can make the participate in this. But you get shivers being sent down your spine. Edson.
Uh,
Oh, cool. 16.
I also rolled a 20, DM.
I rolled a
Okay.
17 for the third time in a row for a total of 22.
You all see the skies off in the distance begin to darken, and the wind begins to pick up.
That better not be no fucking storm.
It's another natural
Yeah.
20 from me.
You can begin to feel the sand, the grains of sand beginning to pick up into the breeze as you end up getting some in your mouth and eyes.
Sandstorm!
Oh
Oh,
no.
it's just like, Sandstorm! I'm gonna pull out my fan and be at the ready. I have an idea, it might not work.
It's this idea that might not work.
I'm going to use the fan of the 5 winds to try and deflect the sandstorm to the best of my abilities.
Can you post that in?
A fan of 5 wins. Jesus.
I can't
Warning
wait.
wind.
I can't wait for it to be just warning wind.
It's just a warning wind. It sounds cooler than it actually is. Like, I
My
feel
God.
like some gusts felt.
All 5 winds, huh?
I didn't know there were 5 different wins.
And then they yeah.
things.
And then they realize, and then people realize that it says 5 winds, but there are actually about 100.
Yeah,
Hence,
Yeah, it's
each
just
brand
a
of
fancy
win.
name. It does 5 things, doesn't it? I just gave it that name. It's just a fancy name. I don't know who named it. I'm not the one who named it. I think. It's just the name that we had in the box. I blame Davy.
the hell's Davy?
Davy Jones?
No, just David.
Who the hell's David?
He is the person that gave me this fancy box full of contraption.
So anybody who is not standing within 10 feet of him, within the 10-foot radius, is taking extra sand to the face. Because basically what's happening here is until the spell ends, most, not all of the wind is being pushed away because the wind currently is below 20 miles per hour, but it is increasing in its speed.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm standing closer to Ollie.
Aw. I am too.
Cuddling time. Look at
And
this, the crew bonding.
knowing full well that this is not going to last, I'm going to start taking one of the lids off of the empty barrel that I'm carrying.
But as that's happening, you do feel the wind beginning to pick up.
I mean, is all of us holding a barrel?
I asked you, and you all said that you were taking a barrel.
Specifically an empty barrel.
Yes.
So, everybody, we're gonna copy Edson and make a shield.
Yeah. Figured something better to put something between me and the wind. At least till it dies down. If we get caught in a full-blown storm, could always hunker down in them.
Hopefully, we could find a. If need be, we might have to find a cave.
Does it look like
Unless
there's
people-
any potential for caves in this immediate area? I know we're kind of like sort of near mountains.
Right by the mountains, yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage. Also, everybody takes 8 piercing damage.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to say it's reduced down in half because of the spell that Ollie has.
So 4
Well,
points.
4 points,
stick
yep.
ignore the second one there.
For disadvantage, I got 11.
I got a 9. I rolled a natural 1.
So off in the distance, you do see what looks to be not necessarily a cave, but an outcropping that looks to be at least offer some protection. But that is also in the haze of the increasing storm. The winds have now picked up to 35 miles per hour.
At 35 miles per hour, I'm assuming they can't hear me.
It is going to be very difficult to hear you.
Basically, screaming and pointing with trying to point towards what you just described. That there might quote unquote on the word might be a not a safe area, but something to get away from the storm.
Alright, I'm going to say at least 1 or 2 of the members of the party, and I will let you decide that amongst yourselves, unless you'd like to roll a perception check to see who hears something.
Nah, I'm rolling an insight check.
I just got here. Sorry, had to leave for a second.
No worries.
I'll roll
Do I comprehend what he's trying to say with a 13?
I will allow it, but a 17 is better.
I have a 15 as well.
Yeah,
15 is also better.
basically
All three of
Edson
you-
was seeing if he could hear me. The others are looking at where I'm pointing.
Yeah, I'll grab Edson. We'll just start moving that way.
Imagine I'm the one guy who couldn't hear him. I'm like trying to figure out what he's saying based
You're
off of his
squinting.
motions.
No, it's crazy because they
Perhaps
didn't hear
we
me.
should
They just
tie
seen where
each
I
other
pointed.
together with a
Yeah.
rope.
As you continue
Ollie-
to
Ollie-
move...
What?
Go ahead.
Ollie's gonna start tying each other to get everyone together with a rope.
The hell you doing?
Kinky, I like it. Rope play.
Preventing us from getting separated.
How is this gonna help anything?
It was worth a shot.
You all also take 4 points of piercing damage.
Oh, goodness.
The sand
with
continues
the
whipping
wind?
in your face. It's now 35 miles per hour. It's moving faster than the spell you're able to cast. Also, that spell only lasts for about 10 minutes, so it's nearing its end anyway.
Ah, yeah. We need to find some shelter.
Isn't that where we're going?
As you take that last bit of damage, you notice that there are some of you, particularly those who do not have their faces covered in any way. It seems like you have freckles now. But in reality, that's just little grains of sand that's kind of embedded and small little spurts, not spurts, but small little pieces of evidence of the indentations within the skin. You are able to find the mouth of a cave. It's not a deep cave, but it is one just deep enough that will offer you a sense of protection.
Well,
We're gonna
here we go.
go in the cave, but then also use the top of the fucking the barrel hoods lids as a makeshift wall, to just in case that if the wind changes direction and tries to push into the cave.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking about doing at all with the barrel. I figured we'd just plop down inside of one as like a bunker. That would be a lot more effective than trying to use the pot lid as a shield.
Sure enough, we go rolling off.
Anyway, cave a hoe. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe we've got just about the damn worst luck of any group of people. I feel like anytime we go and start doing something, there's always some kind of horrible weather phenomena, random strangers trying to kill us.
Anyone curious?
We should
Roll
try
a
to kill the
perception
random
check.
strangers first.
Yes, I'm always curious.
I'm always observant.
Sorry, proceed.
All good. But you're usually the one trying to kill them first, though. 9 times, at least 8 times out of 10. Am I
Ooh,
wrong?
22.
I did that a total of 1 time.
Once.
Is this true? Has he done more when I'm around, or I don't know.
He's that's his business. Not gonna say it. That's his business.
1 time.
Yeah, one time. I haven't done nothing. I'm an innocent child.
Those of you who are having this conversation while walking around through the small cave, you notice these strange markings carved
Don't
into
say
the
it.
walls of the cave.
Stop. Don't you
Oh.
dare say it. I have dark vision, by the way.
Yeah,
I love
how
it,
dark is it?
but it's not too dark, so it's not really applicable. It is, but
It
Let me
still
see.
works in dim light.
it does. Oshiko, with your 22, you would recognize the symbols in
You motherfucker.
Say that one more time.
you see 3 symbols. And as you take a few moments to translate it, you are able to get the ominous message of God of Sand here.
Motherfucker.
Though you don't know whether the God of Sand or here means directly here in the cave. You don't know if it means here on the island. That is the vague part.
God, no, tell me those aren't what I think they are.
I think they
Hey,
are.
Hey, sister.
I didn't see it.
Hey, sister.
I didn't see any of them.
Now, if I was still with the world government, I would have immediately probably blew them up.
Sister Mira.
What are you
Mhm.
talking about? There's nothing there.
But before
Yes,
I say
yes.
anything,
He
Chico
looks
is gonna like
nervously
copy
at
it
you.
into his notebook, DM.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
Sister Mary, can you tell me
this
about
here.
the other gods?
Oh, I don't know much about the other gods. Can I do like a religion check on these, DM?
Could certainly try. But the DC is going to be hard because a lot of information, particularly on any references to deities, have been pretty much snuffed out in the last 800 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
who
what I
needs
figured.
religion when you have world
Yeah, it's
government?
You have heard connections in the past, and even your understanding of the sun god itself is limited.
Okay.
But you have heard that there have been others, a god of earth, a god of lightning. These are, whether they're primordial beings or something else.
Hmm.
Alright. I see that, Hoshiko, and I will take that under consideration.
And just looks at Ollie, puts his hand on his shoulder, right on his shoulder. Exactly.
We see nothing. Yeah,
gives
we
a
see nothing.
firm nod as you stare at his face full of cope.
Oh yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. I forgot to
Indeed.
say this.
If-
He is. I am marking it in his. Hoshiko is marking it in his notebook, in his book, but in like a cryptic message that only he really knows how to decipher.
Yep, it is not uncommon that you have your own coding system. So with that, it would take you, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes to jot down whatever you need, as well as make sure that it's in your code. And
How
at
deep
this
is
point,
this cave?
the sandstorm rages on outside. The cave itself seems to be about 10 feet deep, about 25 feet high, and that's about it.
All right. Well,
Um,
aside from that, which is definitely not here, I suppose this is as good a place as any to wait out the storm.
Hoshiko's just gonna explore the cave to see if it goes any deeper, or if there's anything else that he could find out.
All right, go ahead.
With you.
Give me an investigation check.
I wonder what they could be investigating.
They're going deeper into the cave, aren't they?
Yes.
Both in that.
Oh yes,
Both
we should
nat
probably
20.
follow them.
Uh,
I'm just gonna roll one out of for giggles.
We both got a nat 20 on that.
hold on, let me just. Yeah, he's not very
Imagine if he
convincing. He's not very convincing at lying to himself, unfortunately.
was hoping to roll a nat
There's
20.
nothing unusual in this cave, Edson. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm gonna roll deception.
Actually, you have to roll deception for him. Now,
Yes.
Unfortunately, that doesn't beat my passive insight.
Damn it!
With your natural
We're both
20s,
trying.
as you come to the very back of the cave, you find in a location that was somewhat hidden among the rocks a carving of the island. Not that you know much about the island, but for some meta knowledge, what you see has no channels of water at all. It is just a singular desert area.
interesting.
So this is a old map then, I'm guessing.
And-
Looks like
Probably
it.
one that.
How did a
I was-
crater form in the center of the island for water to float?
Well,
It could be the old people that used to live here. Years upon years of the world changing.
Either that or some epic battle between the sand god and something else, maybe. Oh wait, no,
Uh,
there's nothing here. There's nothing of value.
you can stop pretending now.
You can
I
keep
think we're
pretending if you want.
I think we're
I-
well
I,
in it.
I wasn't gonna
Unfortunately,
tell
we're
you guys
well in
anything.
yeah, unfortunately we're well in accomplice territory here.
well, not really. I declare that no one here saw anything. There we go. Problem solved.
Declare.
He has written evidence of it.
They won't. They don't know that.
That's the fun part. As long as no one gets their hands on his book.
They
If
can get
I
their
don't
hand-
fi-
Which
can get their hands on the
if
totally,
anyone asks,
yeah,
I saw
which-
nothing.
yeah,
And
which
you saw
totally
nothing.
never happened before.
They can get their hands on the book. It just they won't be understanding what's in it.
You know,
Not
if you're smart
necessarily.
enough to if you're smart enough to decipher your own code, a lot of other people could be.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure I would be, but there are plenty of perfectly smart people out there with way too much time on their hands, and I speak from experience in that.
Indeed.
Touche.
The storm outside lasts for another 2 to 3 hours, giving you plenty of time to take either a short rest to recover the little bits of hit points that were taken, or to continue on banter. What would you all
Why
like
not
to do?
both?
You could do a little bit
Yeah,
of both. That's
not
okay.
both.
You could do both. It's okay. You don't have to choose.
Heavens filled with
Did he roll?
mysteries, stories of the ancient seas, maps we're drawing in our hearts. Every dawn a brand new start. Journey on a. Still not sure where I should go with this.
Ugh. You sure do find every opportunity to start singing, don't you?
Yes. But that's just who I am. It's how I keep myself from accepting how dull the world really is, I guess. Better to smile than to suffer.
It's hard to make any changes in the world if you ignore it behind a song or a catchy tune.
That's why I'm out here trying to do something, I guess. It's nothing.
But
So, during this time,
Clearly-
is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I'm gonna clean the sand out of my gun.
Okay.
Prestidigitation, I'm going to clean off my clothing from all the sand. Just gonna pull out a fan and just blow it all away.
Oshiko's gonna meditate.
All right. So, as the 2 hours pass, the sun begins to settle and the sand begins to settle and die down. The overpowering, whistling sound of the wind blowing begins to come to a hum at first before completely dissipating, leaving no trace of the direction you came from or any evidence that anybody walked to the cave.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
at least we know that it's gonna be a hell of a lot. It's gonna be pretty damn darn difficult for people to follow us.
Hopefully the ship's okay.
It's probably all right.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
Well, I wasn't trying to convince anybody. I was stating a possibility.
But we still have to go get that water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. He hefts up the barrel. Let's get to it.
As you continue to make your journey, you notice that in some areas the sand has become deeper. Everybody, give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Supposed to be good at these.
I'm not good at these.
Famous last words. Oh, no. 30-20.
There you go. Tell me, psych out the dice.
Told you.
There we go.
I told you I wasn't good at them.
Thanks for taking my 2.
11.
It had to be done.
Oshiko, as you're
I'll-
walking, you kind of slip on the sand dune that you're kind of crossing over and slide down. You don't take damage or anything, but the sand is super hot.
Can I argue a roll for athletics for like a combat roll into a slide? Into like a sand surfing slide.
I will allow it, but if you score low enough, you will take fire damage.
Willing to risk it.
Okay, go ahead.
He's doing it for the cool factor.
There we go.
Only
13.
You are able to succeed.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
So, rule of cool, you are able to, as you're sliding down, kind of tuck and dive and barrel roll, I'm assuming you're attempting to do?
Yeah, a little barrel roll back onto my feet.
You still feel
Into
the heat
a-
of the sand, though.
Yeah.
It also goes down to your
And
shirt,
slide-
so now you got little hot little beads of earth kind of singeing your skin. Again, not taking damage, but still an annoyance.
It's coarse and it's gotten everywhere.
Hey, it could have been worse.
I'm just gonna once again refresh that prestidigitation wing on everyone's shirts.
Ready? But after that, you have officially made it to the source of fresh water.
We should probably see if it's safe to drink first. Perhaps boil it?
I take a look at it. What does it look like? Does it
Looks
look
like-
clear?
Here,
I think it's
It-
probably all right. And it is flowing from inland, correct?
yes.
I think it's probably all right. I'm going to reach
Is
down
there a-
and take a sip with my hand.
It'd be some bullshit if DM said instantly dead.
Don't say.
Saving throw, please.
Give me a cut. No,
Alright,
I'm
just
kidding. It is fresh water.
DC 19.
Just make a new character.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's over. Welcome to the Oregon Trail. You just died of dysentery.
Oh god. Imagine I was that fucking mean. No. It's fresh water.
Just kind of sit, dip my toes in there, cool off a bit,
Now it's not so fresh water.
take my boots off.
And just like that,
Just
It
go
is. No,
upstream
it is.
a bit.
It now you will get dysentery.
I will go upstream a bit and fill up the barrels upstream.
Same.
Oh,
I'll take Edson's barrel and then go fill it upstream with my own.
Damn.
Alright, so
How big is this river, by the way?
fairly large.
We talking like Like Mississippi large, like you could sail a boat up it large, or just like a decently sized but not
You-
really vessel worthy.
It's not that it's not vessel worthy, but the size of the vessel. So you'd be able to do dinghy, kayaks, things like that, but nothing so large. So like if you had a smaller vessel for shifting goods in and out of a place, you'd be able to use that.
Like a river raft, or
But
for instance, a dinghy, which we politely gave to a random stranger who tried to kill
Exactly.
us.
Exactly.
That would be really handy right now.
Yes.
But I digress. Half tempted to take a bath.
All right. So with the total math calculations, you are looking at a full barrel weighing about 404 pounds.
A full barrel is how much?
404 pounds.
404 pounds.
Now, that is D&D standard, not just real-life applications.
Yeah, we're probably rolling these things back.
Most likely.
I just figured I would wait until you guys got there to see who would have thought about that.
I figured it was going to be heavy. You know, we'll get them back somehow, though.
What is
It's just gonna take
everybody's
maybe a bit.
carrying capacities?
Oh, mine? Nowhere near that.
I know yours isn't.
Mine is 165 for carrying capacity, but my push and drag I think is more.
Alright, yep, so I'm going to need carrying capacity and push and drag. Let me get the formula for that up, just so that we can do it quickly.
Let's see if I can find the carrying capacity.
The carrying capacity should be your modifier times 15, or your strength, your actual ability score times 15. I forget which one.
That's the how much you can lift. You can push and drag up to 30 times your
Yep.
strength score. So I can do up to 330 pounds. I think. Let me just math.
I mean, they're round barrels, so it's not like we're skidding a stone block.
No, but you did partially go onto a mountain. You're in mountainous areas. That's why you were able to find the cave the way you did.
True enough, I guess.
Carrying capacity is 195.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I think Hoshiko's probably the only member of the entire party here who can come
It's
take
higher.
push one of these.
My carrying capacity is only 255.
Yeah,
Well,
you
yeah,
can
but
push and
you're
drag.
pushing essentially twice that.
Mm.
So my push and drag is only 240.
That's weird.
Mine's
Mine-
330. I get close.
You get close. So, ultimately, yes, a lot of this will be easy because they are round.
It's still going to be a pain in the ass.
It is still
Yeah.
going to be a pain in the ass. So you are thinking of what would have been originally a 2-hour trip, minus the sandstorm, is now going to easily be 4 hours, trying to make sure that you that you don't break these things as you're going either.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So,
I'm going to try to
Yep.
I'm going to try to measure about how much time is left in the day with my hands against the horizon.
Yep, you're counting the horizon. I'm going to say you've got about 4 hours left of daylight.
Alright. So we should, well, on the bright side, we should probably make it back just about before nightfall.
And it should be, and it's gonna be started cooling down soon. It should be starting to cool down.
Like I said, once the sun goes below the horizon, it'll start getting colder, but not much sooner.
Yeah, we should be able to get these back there in the next 4 hours.
As long as, kind of looks over at, Sister Mira, as long as the god Nika shines upon us, we'll be dealing with this.
For all legal intents and purposes, I cannot support nor condone the existence of this god.
How political of you.
Trust me, politics is all I know.
Eh. Well, aside from playing annoying music.
It's not annoying, it's wonderful music. You've heard it countless times.
Yes, I know. I remember hearing it whenever I try to do something, when we're in life-threatening situations. Sky itself is falling down on us. I hear you playing the fiddle.
Hey, gotta get into that song whenever you can, you know?
Be more useful if you were doing just about anything else most of the time, but
I
you do you, I suppose.
I am doing other things. It's just
I was gonna say he
usually
can
when there's nothing-
multitask.
Yes.
Eh,
Doing
last,
it all.
last I checked, it requires 2 hands to play most musical instruments.
Is that a challenge?
No, it's mostly just a relatively well-accepted reality. If you want
Yes,
to
if you-
somehow try to play the violin or something with only one arm, then be my guest.
Did you forget that he pulls out the apparatus he usually uses when he goes into a fight? You forgot where I put my flute when we go into fights?
I suppose a flute's probably one of the easier ones you could do. You still need plenty of fingers to work all those air holes.
Indeed.
And of course still hold the damn thing.
That actually sounds like an interesting idea. It's a flute sword? Note to self. Look into that later.
It'd probably just be easier to make some kind of mounting that just holds it there for you.
No. You have a better idea. I'm looking into that one soon.
So, barrels. I'm assuming you guys are going to attempt to start off by rolling them, yes?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Everybody, go ahead and give me give me an athletics check. If you fail that
Can I
check, I will be asking for another check. Yes. What's up?
Oh boy.
can I bardically inspire my fellow crew members before we get through this roll?
Would you have to, yes, you would be able to bardically inspire people. You would have time in preparation. You're not in combat.
All right then. Ready? Heave ho, my friends. Everyone gets a bardic. Except me.
Ironically, I have a negative strength score, but I do have a positive athletics.
I had a nat 20.
So, Ollie, you want to use one of those inspirations?
Probably.
I mean, that's a yes or
Yeah.
no answer.
Yeah, probably.
Alright.
Nope. Freaking
Oh.
rolled lower for some
Damn.
reason.
Typical
Yeah.
inspiration, completely useless.
So now, as you're rolling, Ollie, you begin to lose control over this barrel as the liquid inside of it begins to propel suddenly as you are moving downward from a dune. Go ahead and give me a dexterity
Okay.
saving throw.
Well, that's something I am good at.
Ah,
And then I freaking roll a 7.
Come on. No. No.
Sister Mary,
why
you
did you roll
passed.
a...
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you
fine
passed.
right now. Right now,
Oh, did I
you're
already?
fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
it was just
Yeah.
when you fail this check, you're going to have to give me another one. With the
Oh,
13,
gotcha.
you do manage to catch the barrel before too much damage is done. But you do notice that the rolling and the bouncing did cause one of the seams at the top of the barrel to become saturated with water.
Alright then. Let's think for a moment. Trying to think of.
Can I just take a moment to try to fix the barrel a bit with my tinker's tools?
That's probably a better idea.
I would say if you had woodworking tools, yes. Tinker's tools. You know what? Even
I mean, they're pretty I mean, I'll say evens. They're pretty multifunctional.
I'll allow it. I rolled a 4. My d6.
I
Worst case scenario, I was just gonna pull like a bunch of like carpenter's tools out of
16.
the locker.
You are able to reseal up the seam.
Please try not to do that again.
Fair enough.
I'd rather not spend most of my day pushing a barrel and fixing them.
Fair enough.
You continue to move throughout the day. The sun, hour has already passed. The sun has dropped, and the temperature too has dropped by about 10 degrees.
Are you good over there? The cold's getting to you already?
I just inhaled some sand.
As you're riding closer to the coast, I'm assuming you're trying to avoid the mountainous area-ish.
Yeah, that is a bit in. Well, it's not very conducive to smooth rolling surfaces.
Everybody, once more, go ahead and give me that athletics check.
Wait, they would still have my bardic or no?
No, 10 minutes would be over at that point.
Yeah, I'm re-rolling that for certain. That is actually kind of annoying.
I am gonna reroll that.
Alright, there goes all the inspiration. You had 4 at the start of the game.
Wow, Sister Mira, you and I have just about the same modifiers, except that I have a -1 and you have a +1. It's
At least
better.
it's not a natural
All right,
one.
much better.
Alright,
better
so
with
that's
22.
another dexterity saving throw for you, Ollie.
Another dexterity
Yep.
saving throw, please.
What the frig is with my rolls today?
Hey, at least it's
See-
11.
See, now I feel bad. As the... No, I don't feel too bad. As the barrel begins to get out of your control and it continues to roll down, it kind of bounces and
Oh god.
lands into the ocean. So it is right on the coast.
Are we on like a solid area, a solid surface?
Yeah, it's
not solid, but a flat surface.
Not flat. It's very
It's like a beach or a
dune-like.
cliff.
More beach-like. But you do have the dunes, which would act the same as cliffs, which is why it was kind of bouncing down as it lost control. So it's not necessarily a flat surface, but like think of a desert, how there are those huge kind of dunes that lead towards the water at that point.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll go
who feels
fishing
like
out
getting
of the
wet?
water.
I'm gonna
You want to
help get it.
use some rope? Want to use some
Yeah,
rope to
I'm
try to
gonna-
reel it in?
I'm gonna grab my 50-foot of rope.
I was gonna ask
And
how
I'm
far
gonna-
is it?
Make it into a lasso, and I'm
would
gonna try
say-
to.
It's about 20 feet away from the coast.
If Edson gets the lasso on, I will help him pull it in.
Same.
I'm gonna try to lasso that thing.
Alright, I'm gonna say give me your choice of a dexterity or a strength-based skill.
I am definitely taking dexterity. I'm gonna use acrobatics.
I will allow it.
Critically inspire
I will allow it.
inspiration.
So that is a D6 or D8.
I think it's
D8.
D8 at this point, yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah,
that is
it's really
a
fun at this point.
24.
With a 24, you are able to snag it.
Alright. We got her. Heave-o.
All right, let's do it.
As three of us start, or the four of us start pulling it in.
All of you give me a strength check. Yes, you can use acrobatics.
Now I roll high.
Oh, that was
Natural 20.
good because mine is horrible.
So,
It's just something pushing things over a sand dune, not being able to freaking stop it halfway. I'm just imagining it's when I reach the top of the sand dune that it's a problem.
the funny thing
Yeah.
about something that you just noticed here is as you're all yanking, expecting this 400-pound thing to be super heavy, it moves easier. As
Well,
you're
yeah,
Oh,
because it's in
tugging.
the water.
I know. I was just being dramatic about it. And you were able to easily get it back to the coast.
Hoshiko and Edson just pulling with one hand. Mira's trying with all her strength.
Oh no, Edson's got both his hands on there. I'm not pretending that he's doing this easily. He is
That
not
20
he is
is
not
him.
a strong boy.
giving everything.
Hoshiko's using one hand pulling.
But as said, you are able to get it to where the water meets the sand.
Does it look like the barrel's damaged?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
We won.
It looks still sealed, but it is hard to
Alright,
see whether or not it was leaking because the entire thing is wet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it does seem pretty good, pretty solid.
Let me know. Let me know if it starts feeling lighter as we're going.
Indeed.
And please, please, do not lose it
I'm
again.
tying it to me. I'm loosely tying it to me now. So like,
Do not do that. That is the worst
dropped the
idea
those
you have
liquids.
had all day.
I just feel
Yes,
bad that
that's-
it was Ollie both times. Go ahead.
yeah, I know, right?
This is
Terrible
right
rules.
right after I told him not to do that again. He does it.
It's not his
It's not
fault.
been my fault. It's terrible rolls.
I know.
Yeah, but you know, it brings interesting story. Who would have thought you'd be lassoing a water barrel?
Hey, I take every opportunity to do some cowboy shit.
With that, what would you guys like to do to continue moving forward?
Indeed.
So, thinking back, on our way here, I assume we traveled more or less along the coast. Did we see any rough coast areas, like jagged rocks, reefs, anything like that, as we were walking by?
So, when you came up more from, I believe, the southern area, so you had not explored up here yet at all.
Well, yes, but I'm assuming that we walked largely along, well, kind of near-ish the coast to go towards the river. Just because that would have been the most guaranteed way of finding it.
I'm gonna say, if you were honestly paying it, if your character is honestly paying attention to that detail, go ahead and give me a perception check.
He's a cartographer, of course he is.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying for everybody.
Alright.
Also, you guys were dying of like heat and sandstorming.
True.
I mean, I was passing the checks, and I have a hat.
Oh, and I got a hat. It's okay.
I got a hat.
14. Because, I roll bad at things that I'm good at.
I'm gonna
Plus
say
8.
You
Plus
saw
8 to perception, you'll never know.
a couple of outcroppings or larger rocks, but they were all noticeable. Nothing that stood out as hazardous near the surface of the wall. Below the surface, you saw areas that could damage a ship, yes.
Alright, y'all. So, what we could do to make this potentially a lot easier on ourselves is do a bit of a trick that they do in the logging industry. Where
Oh, put it in the water and drag and let it go downstream.
it's not going to be quite that easy, just because going downstream is going out to the ocean in this case. But more or less. We tie a rope to it and kind of pull it along while it's in. Be a hell of a lot easier, and at least in that way. Assuming you don't find some magical rock out of the middle of nowhere, it's considerably less likely that you're going to break and or damage any of these barrels.
Fair enough. That sounds like a good enough plan.
Let's try it.
And I've already partially tied myself to the rope, so to the barrel puts it in the water. This works.
So whoever is tying the barrels up, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Most likely it's going to be Edson.
I was gonna say I only have a +1.
I will help
13?
Edson with this task.
All right. Are you proficient in sleight of hand?
I'm half proficient.
I'm not sure if that counts for helping, but I could
will
be wrong.
allow you to make a secondary check. So I will allow you to try to tie your own barrels, not give him advantage.
Alright then.
That's fine. I'm gonna use my my once a day lucky feat real quick.
Sure, the not so good as Yami's feat.
Yeah, because I only get 1 and he gets 3. Alright, well, I guess I'll just stick with a 13 then.
Alright, you are able to successfully, between the both of you, tie the barrels in. Now, all of you who are rolling your barrels, you're good. Your barrel's already in the water. All of you who are rolling your own barrels, go ahead and give me strength checks, please.
$14.
Just pass.
Oof, 8.
Not pass.
I'm gonna do my predict outcome as well.
21.
Pass.
Try that again.
Damn, isn't it nice having a free lucky feat once per day?
Oh my
If-
god!
Well, when you
If
roll well,
only it mattered something.
Oh!
go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Would there be a way to help her while she's trying to... never mind. It's already too late.
Well, you're already working on your own barrels, so
Alright, well,
Now I
it's a
roll
good dex
okay.
save.
you are able to stop the barrel from jumping or kind of bouncing onto what would have been a large rock in the way.
I would have busted it up for sure.
Mm-hmm. But you were able to stop it just in the nick of time, and you are able to, like the others, navigate your barrel safely to the water. You have about 2 hours. Now, your time should be faster, so I'm going to say without anything to delay you, you should be able to get back to the ship within the hour.
Everybody. Now we keep walking.
With that, the temperature is now dropping another 10 degrees. So whereas it was
What?
in the
It's
hundreds,
like a crisp. It's
now
like a crisp 90 now.
85. Yeah.
Oh wow.
As you continue, you notice that the sun continues to set, the temperature begins to drop exponentially. Starting at 10, moving to 20, from 20 to 40. As you approach the ship, you're already seeing your breath in the coming and now in the air in front of you.
Brr, cold. Changes the heat, the cooling to the heat to heating on the shirts. Ah, nice.
Now, I know it's just now we don't. Obviously, I don't have winter clothes, but my armor is technically just a thick shirt. Does that kind of function as cold weather gear?
I'm gonna say you gotta pick. It's either gonna be bad in the heat or good or neutral. Because if it's good in the cold, it can't be good in the heat.
Not necessarily true, but I get your point.
Hey, listen. Once you get some local attire, that's a whole other story.
Got a hat.
Okay, so your head is nice and cool. Or hot. Whatever you need it to be.
Well, it's a cowboy hat. It provides shade, so it keep me cool during the day, for the most part.
So, as said, it's now cold. And temperature is continuing to drop along with the sun. You have the 4 things of water.
Get it in
And
the ship then.
Well, there is our water supply back up to capacity.
now, how are you getting it on the ship?
Well, it's already in the water, so I figured we just walk on
Remember
the ship and then just pull it up.
Yeah. That's
Basically, what we did to Ollie.
Yeah, exactly how we got Ollie on board.
So with that,
I-
you are able.
I-
Everybody, go ahead and start giving me some strength checks with advantage because Hina will be helping you.
Yep.
Still terrible.
Would that just be straight strength or athletics?
I'll
I
allow
love how it
athletics.
doesn't matter.
Let me
I love when it
just
doesn't matter what rules.
roll for some Hina.
Well, I thought she was helping us, and that's why we have advantage.
I know,
Yeah,
but
well,
I saw some of these rolls.
Well, I mean, there are 4 of us. We're not lifting them all at once.
Oh yeah, no.
That would just be stupid. You know, we tie the rope to the side of the ship so that they don't drift away, and then lift them up one at a time.
So what I'm hearing
Between the-
is you guys need to build a crank system.
I mean, I could probably build one, but I ain't got the materials for that. Also,
It's too
a
bad you didn't
crane
just come from
probably
a
isn't.
an island of metal.
It's mostly not the problem that I don't have access to metal. It's that, considering that most cranes, especially at this period, were made out of wood almost exclusively.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the crank itself.
Oh, yeah, that would
That's-
probably also be wood.
No, that would be metal at that point. It's not the Stone Ages. But
You vastly overestimate the amount of metal that people used during the Age of Sail.
probably.
But no, my problem is I ain't got a forge. I can't heat that shit up to the shapes that I need it.
Oh boy. So
Comes later.
with the heave ho, right? When you get your second ship. The only problem is you're actually gonna have to
Or if I
commission
get
that
one-
because
Or if I get one of those fancy shell things, heat stuff up, like the blacksmith had.
Listen, we'll have to find out. Get to Skyline Islands if you get there.
Damn, should have tried to trade him one of the wind dials for that thing. Though I doubt he would have taken
darn.
that trade.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
But with that, it would take you some time to get the barrels up, but you would be able to get them. By the time the sun now sets, it is now about 15 degrees.
I
Breathes into the air, proceeds to write his name in the mist.
well, at least we're on land, so we could always light a fire.
Indeed, I guess that would be an appropriate move. Although I'm pretty full of the kitchen. Then again, Hina doesn't let people in the kitchen, so yes, we'll just start a fire on land.
She doesn't let you in the kitchen. She'll let Edson in the kitchen.
Yeah, I go in the kitchen all the damn time. Talk about.
Yes, especially with your clipboard. You and that clipboard obsession.
It never hurts to be organized, especially on long trips. You live and die by your supply line.
You're most likely correct. 100%. I'm just thinking that you really need the clipboard all the time.
You expect me to keep track of everything in my head?
I realize that not everyone can do that now. That is...
As if you remember every damn thing you ever saw.
Not everything, but I keep track of most things.
Well, you try keeping track of the intricacies of naval navigation and your local stockpile of food, water, drink, materials, etc. And then try doing it without a clipboard.
I think I could pull it off. It would be difficult, but I could. Then again, I wouldn't do the Navy part. That would be very difficult. I mean, I have training.
Yeah.
No.
And what exactly does everybody always say? You work smarter, not harder, as he gestures at you with the clipboard.
You make a fair point. I will accept the fact.
Yeah, the hell kind of idiot goes around making a mountain out of a molehill.
Well, that depends. Can the idiot carry the mountain or the molehill?
At least the mountain or the molehill is unlikely to roll down the face of a dune, potentially break itself.
Those dunes were annoying. Every time we reach the top, the barrels just kind of fall down the hill. It's really hard to steady them at that point. You'd belt it too.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't the one losing mine all the time.
It didn't feel like it. It felt normal. It felt natural.
Yeah, well.
Not everyone is built like a Hulk.
I'm not built like that. I just got...
Looks at Hoshiko, at least with six-pack abs.
I just stay in shape.
Yeah, you stay in shape by lifting bags of cannonballs off the mast. I've seen it.
Hey, I'm training with Hina.
Yes, another member of our freakishly strong crew.
You know,
you, Hina, and the doctor.
Tiny bit stronger.
Yeah, you, Hina, and the doctor make a trifecta of monsters.
Don't say monsters when the doctor could transform to damn near any monster he wants.
Yeah, he probably think that's a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fed up being kind of pseudo scrawny. I kind of want to start training now. I
Ain't
think I'll
nothing
start
wrong.
small though.
Ain't nothing wrong with being lean.
Yes, but it's clearly not helping me, so I might just do a bit of training on that matter. Time to do push-ups. I feel like that is the most honest way of doing it.
Could always join
Only
me for
if
some
it's-
P. You could always join me for PT.
No, I'm just going to do a bunch of push-ups. They seem to suit me better.
Remember, do 100 a day for 100 days.
Yep, 100
No, no, no,
push-ups,
no.
100 sit-ups, 100 squats.
100 push-ups, increasing by 1 every day.
So what? You start with 1. The next day is
Maybe I increase
2.
it by 10. Yeah, maybe I increase it by 10 every day. So you start off with 100, and then you go up by 10 every day.
Nah, just double it. You do 100 today, do 200 tomorrow, do 400 the
Sure.
next day.
Yeah!
Do it!
Yep, Ollie will do that.
Oh,
I will not. You just pushed me down this path, and Ollie he gives it to
I just
me.
see
It's easy.
Ollie gets there. Ollie gets like through the first like 20 push-ups and then feels like he can't do shit.
Proceeds to go on anyway because must get marginally stronger. So don't drop barrel down hill again.
and that was the day the music died.
Oh no, he's still singing while he's doing it.
Oh, God.
You can't stop this man from singing. Even the gods can't stop this man from singing.
Challenge accepted.
Well,
You start
for
singing.
you.
You start working out and singing like some random ass song. Edson immediately starts chiming in, singing singing like the kind of thing that they'd sing in like fucking drill sergeants when they're running.
Yes, totally. That's the song we'll be singing when we're doing that.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. This is like
Nope.
a very. This is turning into a very athletic crew. You got some people who are literally hanging off the mast, doing pull-ups with weighted by cannonballs. Again, you're letting people use cannonballs for weights, but that's a whole separate other issue.
Well, I mean, there's nothing
Wait.
wrong with it technically.
It's either that or we get ridiculously heavy weights that weigh down our ship. And looks at Zoro. Not everyone's a Zoro. Anyway, I will immediately get started on trying to do 100 push-ups.
Go ahead, give me an
Oh
athletics
my
check.
God.
Alright then. Dirty 20!
Not bad. You start feeling the burn around 50. By about 75, your biceps, triceps, your forearms, and your core is like screaming out in agony.
Must get marginally stronger. Proceeds to sing.
Besides the fact that just makes things so much harder for you, by the time you get to 100, you can feel your heart rate pulsing through your muscles. So as you're laying down on your back, kind of like fully drained, you just hear feeling your muscles.
He's just going to listen to the thrumming and be like, this actually feels enlightening. Is this what hard work feels like?
You are all
Kind of
watching
like it.
this. What are your reactions as you just watch Ollie just drop and give you guys 100?
I completely ignore it. I'm building a fire.
Give me a survival
Where's
check.
your weight at?
God damn! Why are you making me roll for this? Why
Why
are
not?
you gonna? Why? Look at what you made me do. Look at what you made me do. +5 to survival rolls a 3 to make a campfire.
What's life without a little bit of excitement?
God
You would
damn.
be, it's only
What's
gonna,
life without Edson rolling bad on the skills that he's supposed to be good at?
Well, the only thing is,
Just
what
to
it,
station that fire on. I get
Would
out a
it-
flamethrower from the container and just go.
wood is sparse. You haven't actually really seen any trees. So where are you getting the material?
We
Specifically.
have wood on the ship.
There we go. So it is.
that we brought for ship repairs. We could use a few planks of it for
So-
firewood.
It's more on the lines of time consumption, not lack of ability. So it is going to take you about 10-15 minutes to get the fire going between cutting the wood, cutting it down to size, etc., etc.
Okay, well, I'll be still doing push-ups around then, so I'll retract that
Finding some
statement.
decent, finding some decent stones to make like a little campfire pit around.
Exactly.
Ollie's just sitting here going, "What is this epiphany? Such a weird experience. Just having this out-of-body experience. He's never had to work so hard in his life." Is this what you feel whenever you train like that? Looking up at Hoshiko.
Hina's just
No.
going to kind of shake her head and walk away.
He did it.
You know, you really strike me as the kind of man who's never worked out a day in his life.
It's like
Well,
baby taking his first steps.
Well, I'm mostly calisthenics kind of man. More endurance than anything else I was trying for. That and control. That's why I'm more spry and less buff.
Well, I suppose if you got magic powers that can knock people out from 50, 60 yards away, I suppose there's limited capabilities or value in being physically strong.
Yes. That's pretty much the case. It's more improving my endurance on that front that's always been an issue. Even just using basic talents can be surprisingly tiring.
Well, at least you're working on it.
Indeed. Anyway, I'm going to have a nap now. Ollie's just gonna lay there in the sand and just sleep.
I don't think sleeping here is a good idea.
He's already passed out.
What? He's gonna wake up and he's gonna be melting.
He just works on his tan some more.
That's a tomorrow him problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is where the fire is. So, always some risks.
Those of you who are still on the ship, you would soon smell the familiar scent of fire off of the ship, I'm assuming, and you are
Yeah.
able to get warm.
Because we do not have one of those convenient stone places where people keep a fire on our ship, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Although wait, isn't
That's,
the hull like reinforced with like ironwood? How flammable is the ship right now anyway?
From the outside, pretty flammable from pretty much a third from the front down.
Fair
From
enough.
the inside, very, very flammable because reinforced does not mean replaced.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, underneath that reinforcement, it's all still that same burnable wood.
Yeah, definitely making the fire on the shore.
Right? You notice as you look up ahead, the stars are quite populated. Anybody who is from major cities wouldn't see as many stars. And of course, you've seen them while on the ship before. But now you finally have a chance to take stock and just. Granted, super cold, and the breath is full of, mist, but it's nice to say,
Simple peace for a little bit.
Yeah, until something new comes along.
Just gonna take some time and draw a bit of a map of where we've been so far next to the campfire.
In my eyes. There you go.
what would the rest of you be doing?
Relaxing near the campfire, stay warm, and until Hoshiko starts to feel like he's getting sleepy, he'll go to his room.
You mean the shared bedroom you guys have?
Sure.
Where we don't
Or are you
even have
talking about
beds,
the,
we just sleep in hammocks.
The library that you occasionally, or the office you occasionally share with the captain?
Thought I was the
No,
only
I'll
one
go
in
to the shared room.
office.
I'll leave
Alrighty. And how about for the rest of you? So, Captain, what would you be doing during this time?
Probably doing the same thing, relaxing and probably meditating a little bit before heading to bed.
Alright. Are you just meditating for the sake of meditating, or are you meditating with purpose?
Just for the sake of meditating.
Okay. And now, Ali, you are kind of passed out on the deck, I believe, yes?
Yep. Ollie did a bunch of push-ups and now he's having a nap.
Sounds about right. So with that, the night will pass by uneventfully, and we are actually going to kind of call it here, because the next leg of the journey is the players have to decide, are they going to start making their way to the first city? Due to the fact that they have no idea where they're going, and the fact that this island is quite large, they're going to be in for a interesting journey. Let's also not forget the nice little drop-in of the language of the Poneglyph, which I'm sure will not cause anything bad to happen in the future at all.
Yeah, no.
all.
No. Finding hidden forbidden knowledge has never anyone, especially not the person who found it.
Not at all. It's not going to do anything at all.
All right, I think you've milked it enough.
Alright. But,
And
yep, go ahead,
we'll
Ollie.
see if Ollie can successfully do 200 push-ups. Find out next time.
That is going to
God.
be interesting.
Just gonna pass
No.
out again.
No, the interesting part is Ollie's going to be tired the next day, and not that it's going to really impede
bummer.
on him, but in character, those lactic acids are going to build, and you're going to be in pain.
No, he's not going to be
I
up
love
pain.
it.
He's going to be in pain.
In pain.
He's going to be both. It's okay. As we've discussed, he can do both. He can multitask. But with that, we will catch you on the Sunveiled Pirates next week. Till then, check out the merch store. Check out the videos from the past sessions. We have our summer sale going on. It goes on until the end of the month. So please like, subscribe, support in any way that you can, and we look forward to our next game. Say goodbye, y'all.
Bye.
Yep.
Have a